Hey, Joel here. I wanted to show you how to add custom fields to your WordPress site. So we have optional fields, an inflatable office that you can now sync over to your website. And so one of the example that you could do is if you wanted to have a second description, let's say we'll use this one as the main description with lots of text, and maybe you would want to have a shorter description up here with just something shorter. Um, you can now do that. You can also set, we set alt texts for the images by default to be the same as the name of the product, but if you wanted to customize those, you can do that as well. So first you would go into Inflatable Office under optional fields here. You can now add one. So you'd set the type or the display place to be the inventory. I usually put under extra details, which is really just where it shows up on the inventory page itself. So you can see I've added a couple examples here. So if you're just going to do like a description or some other random text, you just leave this alone. But if you're wanting to set one of those special fields like alt text, the page title, or a meta description, you would need to set this as well. So we'll call this short description. We'll set it to large text. And you'll see we've got a variable name here we'll need to copy. So everything inside the asterisk. So you would save it. And then when you edit your inventory, you would have that description field here that you would be able to set for each item as you wanted. And when you save it, it would then sync that over to your WordPress site. Now, in order to decide where it shows up on this page, you would need to come into your WordPress admin, go to shortcoder under IO rental here. You can then paste in that code based on where you want it at. So let's say we want to put it here, %%, paste that special name. And now when we update, it'll show up in that spot, whatever you typed in there. Now you only have to do this for the descriptions or any extra fields you want to have. The alt text and the page title ones that we were looking at earlier here, if you were setting one of those, excuse me, where did that go? Yeah, so if you were setting the alt text or the title description or the meta description, you don't have to edit the short codes. Those ones will happen automatically. Only the meta description is the only one where you have to do a couple more changes as well. So to set up the meta description, I think you have to edit any page. It doesn't matter. You come into these dots, you hit options, and you can turn on custom fields. And I think that's just so that you can then see it when you're editing pages, but I don't know that you have to do that. In order to have it to show up in the meta description, though, we'll need to have Yoast on your WordPress site. You go to search appearance, content types, scroll down to the pages section, and then in here we'll put in the variable. It has to be 2% CF IO meta description, like that. And then you save it, and then it'll use whatever you put in that field on the Inflatable Office side. So hopefully that's helpful. This, like I said, you don't have to do any of this stuff. This is just extra if you're really wanting to dive into the details. The defaults that we use for all of these are pretty good. So only if you're really wanting to get into the details or do something special do you need to mess with this. So it's nice that it's available. So thanks.